What's up, guys? Welcome to the fourth part of the series where we are automating the creation of campaigns. And from the last video, we created the playbooks. So, this is what the playbook was, the Apollo playbook, and then the second email. And we were trying to create an email that looks something like this. So, what Apollo gives us. And obviously, this is just one playbook, but we're going to be having a bunch of different other playbooks that we're going to be using, such as headcount growth, department growth, and a lot more different things, right? So like this page is going to have like 30, 40, 50 different playbooks that we can use to generate emails. And where we generate those emails is in this section over here. So we choose a playbook for the campaign. And when we change the status from choose campaign playbook over to generate campaign copy, it generates copy for us. And so this is a subject line that is spin taxed, copy that is spin taxed, all of this that is also spin taxed. We need to modify the prompts for the spin tax so they work better. And we also need to change the subject line prompt to make it better. But pretty much we are pretty much done, right? Like we can create playbooks using this page, and we've got a structure that seems to be good. It seems to work well for creating these playbooks. And then we are able to generate the copy automatically, and it's also customized to the different clients, and we're also able to create the spin tags. So everything seems to work well, right? Now, one thing I want to work on is testing, right? So that I can improve the way that I build these playbooks. And so I'm going to go over to the testing space, and I think it's going to include the main custom fields that we already have. So columns, email one, email two playbook, and then playbooks. The other thing that I want is the client field. So client, right? And so this I think is going to allow us to test things. Oh, actually, on another point, I would also want email one. So email one. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, these are for the domain purchasing. Gotcha. Probably should have different names for these different things. And then I want email two. And so this right here is going to allow us to test different playbooks and test their viability. And let me see, what else are we going to do in this video? This is probably going to be the last of the series. So we're going to create this testing space. We're also going to do other things, right? We'll get it done as we get it done. So in the testing space, how I want to do this is when a custom field is changed, client from this. So it's got to be changed from this to any client. We run a webhook. So a webhook, and then we change it back. So custom field, client, boom. All right. So the one that I'm going to use, generate campaign copy. All right. What is this saying? Yeah, I will have to modify this spin text one. But for now, let's go to generate campaign copy. And we need to duplicate this one. Testing. And we call it that. Now we copy the URL and we simply paste it over here. So what this is going to do is basically send the data. So this was This is how it was working previously. Actually, on a separate note, this is getting the campaign. We don't have the campaign, we have the client, and we have the playbook. This this needs to be get playbook. Get playbook. I don't think we need another one of these. I think this is fine. Yeah. Let's also add the subject line that we can test. So columns, subject line. Boom. All right, so we can test all of these different things. And all we need to do is simply choose a client. And when we choose a client, the clients, so this is what a client looks like. There's different fields for the client, but each client is going to have a different value prop, overview, pain point, right? And so this is what's going to allow us to customize this dynamically across different clients. And so the testing, the purpose of this testing space is literally just that. It's um, trying the same playbook with different clients and seeing the different emails it generates and modifying the playbook from over here to change it. So we don't even need to actually enter this section of the automation. We simply do everything from here and from here, and then we can generate all that stuff. So, email one, you must follow the instructions. So let's go ahead and actually run this once. So testing, I'm going to choose this client right here. And this client, we've just chosen it. So it's going to actually remove itself in a second from now. But it comes here. And so we go back over here and I need to put the description. So the company description is going to be in this section over here. Actually, on a separate note, I need to find the client, custom fields, email playbook. Interesting, because what happened is by the time that this got here, the client was already changed. So like the client is no longer here. Um, yeah, because if I do this and then we run this, yeah, by the time it gets there, it's already gone. So I need to figure out a different way to do this. So custom fields. Right, the client is already gone. So maybe we don't do that automation then. Maybe we don't do this just yet. Set client. Maybe we just leave it like that. Right? Um and then yeah, so now it should work. So let's go ahead and run again. And then let's choose the client, Afonto. And now we're gonna get all of the playbooks and all that stuff. So the company overview, pain points. Okay, awesome. So email one playbook, that is going to be over here. And then email two playbook, that is going to be over here. Email two playbook. And then the subject line, awesome. And then this is going to be updating. So the list is campaigns v2. It should actually be the other list. So the campaigns, it should be playbooks. And then we map the task ID. And we need to change the subject line, email to email one. Awesome. And the other thing, we change the client to inactive. or empty. Yeah, if we go to empty, it doesn't work. So we need to change it to inactive. So let's do this. So we gotta put it back here, inactive, and then I have to create another automation right here. So when client custom field changes from client from any to inactive, right? We simply just have to change the custom field client. We simply have to remove that. Boom. So now it's good. So it's inactive. We've got the email, and now we can test it. So all I need to do really is just choose a different client. Like, how does this look? All right, this looks pretty cool. This looks pretty cool. This looks decent. And so now, as you can see, what this means, right? We'll run this once to show you like what it looks like in action, right? It allows me to now just test freely, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and change the email to playbook to go from 40 words to 300 to 100 to 200 words, right? And so this is email 2. I just changed the playbook in here inside ClickUp, and email 2 looked like this. And all we need to do to test it is simply choose a client. And if you recall, every single client is going to have different value props, company overview, pain points, meaning the copy is going to be different. And so I've just chosen a Fonto. In a second, it's going to work. But this is what it had looked. Have you experienced difficulties in managing your business effectively due to complexities and hurdles? This is kind of trash. We provide comprehensive streamline operations. I mean, it's not necessarily like trash in that sense, but it's not the same prompt that we had previously had before. So it worked. Yeah, like this is what I mean. Like this is personalized. The other one was not personalized, so that's what I was trying to figure out. Are you finding it challenging to obtain high quality yet affordable AI talent that can perfectly fit into your work culture? At Team Epic, yeah, yeah. So this is perfect, right? This is what I'm talking about, right? Where it's personalized, and we can just simply change the playbook. And this is the playbook that we're using. And obviously, as you can imagine, every single one of these are going to have different playbooks. And then if you recall, all we changed here is 200 words. So now it's a weird one. Yeah, it's a weird one. Not really great, but anyways. So there you go. So that is how we're going to be testing. Um, and this automation is pretty much done. We can go ahead and back out of it. And now we just go from scratch, right? So choose campaign playbook, generate campaign copy, create copy spin tags, add campaign to smart lead. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty much done, right? Like it's pretty much done what we need to do. So we're gonna run it from scratch, right? We're gonna do it from scratch. So let's go into. I'm gonna want to keep these ones. Gonna want to keep this. All right. Let's close every other tab here. All right. So where all of this stuff starts is in the client. So we've got the client, right? And we've got some automations. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more tabs. So the first one is going to be campaign. All right, we're gonna want this one. We're gonna want this one. Campaign spin tax. All right, cool. I think these are all we need for now, right? I think this is all we need for now. And also I have actually not really finished this one, but I think it's really just a naming thing and not much else, right? So campaign 4, I'll name this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm done just naming the last one right here, which is campaign 6. And all we need to do is simply map the client field. So we go back over here and we go to a client. So we're onboarding our client, and we've got, we're currently in the active status. I should probably do it from here. So we're currently in the active status. We're going to go to the modify company overview status. So, during our onboarding process, we've already done all of these things. And so the company overview, this is AI generated. We simply need to modify this to make sure that it makes sense. I'm gonna just leave it because it makes sense for now. And then we're going to click create email campaigns. And when we click create email campaigns, it should run this over here, use existing data. And inside the V2, I should actually delete the old ones because we're starting from scratch. So campaign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mapped to a specific client. And now we need to choose a playbook. So we've got these playbooks over here. So headcount, Apollo sequence. But if we go back to the playbooks, we really only have one done. In fact, I'm gonna move this to active status, right? Because this is done. So, and then I'm gonna show closed tasks and then autosave view. So like this is really the only one that we have done, which is the Apollo playbook. So we're gonna go with this one. As I mentioned, we can create like 20 of them. So now all we need to do is we need to choose a playbook. So campaign 1, we look at the assigned comment. It says choose campaign playbook. I'm gonna click resolved, Apollo sequence, and then I'm gonna go over to the next step, which is generate campaign copy. And then after I click generate campaign copy, it's going to go on to this one right here. It's going to search for the campaign, the client, the playbook, write email 1, write email 2, do the subject line, following what we have described in the playbook over here. And why it was important to create a testing space is, so that we can, try these playbooks and see what works, or like how the copy is going to look. And so when we go back to this one, wait. It's over here. It created a subject line. So I need to refine my subject line prompt because I also don't even like these ones, but whatever. So I asked it to do 3 subject lines that are spin text. And then the email follows the same prompt. Personalized, are you grappling with ever increasing need for highly skilled AI talent, hampered by budget constraints, and concerned about how a new hire would fit into your existing corporate culture? We alleviate those concerns by offering highly skilled project ready AI engineers at an incredibly affordable price of 1,500. In addition, we offer zero cost trial that enables you to. Wouldn't it wouldn't it provide peace of mind to trial such no cost? Yeah, probably gonna change the playbook, right? So this is how it looks, right? So the fifth sentence must be call to action less than 20 words. So I'm gonna change it from 40 words to 20 words, and we're going to run it again. So we go choose campaign playbook, and then let's go back and generate campaign copy. And now it should run this automation. It's currently off, right? So that's why I have to manually click on it, but otherwise it would just work. So now it's generating copy. The main thing I didn't like about this one is how long the call to action is. It's kind of ridiculous. So let's see, is it done now? All right, it says it's done. So let's go out of this, and that's better. Would you like more information on how Team Epic can streamline your search for AI? Perfect. And like I said, you just change the playbooks. You could change the stuff and modify it. So it's not perfect, but it gets the job done. Just wanted to follow up with Team Epic. Boom. Awesome. And as quick as that was, we can do that 6 times over. Let's do it 6 times over, right? So assume that these playbooks are done. Let's just assume that they're done. And let's assume that they're also different playbooks. So Apollo sequence, these are all like different ones. Just assume they're all different playbooks. Right here, I'm going to create 5 different campaigns in literally like how long? Just a few seconds, right? What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna do process all data, and then we're gonna back out of here. So we've got 5 records. We're gonna let them all process, and so we're gonna get 5 different campaigns that are created for us. And I can delete this because it was just out of trial and error. And now the assigned comment is modify campaign copy. I should probably have clicked on these. So choose campaign playbook. Choose campaign playbook. Yeah, I already did those. And then choose campaign playbook. And then, all right. So this is the new one that we need to work on. And again, you want to think that these are different playbooks, right? Changing it right now, it doesn't really matter because there's no automation set up to do anything for here. But like, just think of these as different playbooks, meaning these are going to be different emails, right? So that's the cool part about all of this. And damn, this is gonna save so much time. I mean, I'm just looking at it and I'm like, oh my god. So like really all you need to do is spend time creating playbooks. So we go back here and now let's go on to the next step. So the emails, I've analyzed them, they look good. Maybe I can modify this. We don't want it to be this. Anyways, I think we're fine. So let's go campaign 1. Let's remove the assigned comment. I've modified the campaign copy. And then we move this to create copy spin tags. Yeah, this one's gonna give us problems because the prompt for spin tags is not good. Um, all right. So this one, use existing data. It's not gonna be good. Because look at this text personalization 1. That's gonna cause some problems. And also I need to figure out a way to like have like a loading animation because obviously like these are being worked on, right? But it takes time and sometimes you just have no idea. Has no synonyms. Spin tags created. Are you in search of spin tags created? Anyways, yeah, I probably have to, like I said, I have to modify this, but text personalization, are you in search of, looking for, on the hunt of high quality, top notch, expert level AI talent while aiming to. Oh, this is better. Because previously we didn't have this we didn't have this avoid creating more than 3 syntax variables per word. But this time around it seems to be doing that. So 3, it's not ridiculous and actually we can read it now. So this is good. This is good. Email 2. And then let's go ahead and add campaign to Smart Lead. Is that it? Oh my god, I think I'm basically done. That is so cool. Um mm, campaign. I don't think I named this properly. Yeah, I'm gonna need to find this. I don't think I named it properly. Oh, actually, I know where it is. It's called To Do, right? Still not named properly, but it's called To Do. Um, Send email copy. Click up. Smart lead. Send. All right. And we run it once. And on that note, I should probably head over to Smart Lead. Ooh, I just realized something as well. Um, which is the campaign name? Because currently it's called Campaign 1, Campaign 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think what I want to do when we generate the copy, I want to change the task name. I want to change the task name to the client name. So yeah, we get the company name, and then we call this right. We got the playbook name. Where's the playbook? Where's all right. All right, it's gonna be a task name. It's gonna be a task name. So there you go. So we got the playbook name. Yeah, this is definitely the way to go, because currently it's just gonna send a task inside Smart Lead with just the name campaign 1. So this is a Fonto. Maybe we could just call it headcount growth macro. So this is the campaign name. And then we go back, create copy spin tags, and then we add the lead to Smart Lead. And this is the one. I'm going to run this once, use existing data, and then boom. And then I'm going to run it again with the actual name and everything changed. So this is what our Smart Lead currently looks like, right? We've just added that one, the one that we've just created. And now that campaign has the subject line, it's got the personalization, it's got the spin tax. We've also got the second variation. That's another thing I need to create. So this is the structure. We currently don't have two variations. So right, and then we've got the second email, which is a follow up. In the setup, we've got it scheduled in our time zone with the correct time, max leads per day, looking good, and all of this stuff looks great. So really, all we need to change is this or this. We need to choose one of those AI categorization, and then we need to choose a sender account, and then we can just go on to the next step, which is building a lead list. So it automatically moved over to build a lead list, and then enrich contacts in Clay. So for the Apollo, we basically need to use AI first line. So GPT, and then this is just like AI first line. First line. Nice. And it didn't even come through. Anyways, like we're actually gonna be using a different table for this, but like, um, I think you guys get the idea. So build lead list, enrich contacts in Clay. So it's yeah, along with the playbook. So when we go back to the playbooks, do we have any tasks to create Clay tables? We do. Clay table created. And so yeah, we should actually, before moving it over to the active section, we should have a Clay table as a template. which should look something like this. So duplicate this, and then this is the Apollo, whatever. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so delete table. Let's go with this one. All right, let's duplicate. It's duplicating. So each playbook needs to have, um, like the way that I set up my clay is things go through steps, right? So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, all the way up until the campaign's steps, right? And the main thing with these final ones, they take the general data, so the website, the full name, Apollo ID, country. So these things that we're able to send the data. And so if we were to scrape a lead list manually, we would simply add it over in this section. And the only thing that's different with these different campaigns, so everything on the left from here is the same. It's just the prompts, right? These are what are different. So we can delete this, and basically just, is there a way to delete multiple columns? So all ideas. We basically need to delete all of these ideas, all of these. Yeah, definitely not all of that. Anyways, I think y'all get the point. So the Apollo playbook is going to have an AI prompt, because if you recall, the second sentence is text personalization 1. And so we need to have an AI prompt in a clay table that we can simply duplicate over to our different clients. And so, yeah, it would come over here. I'll be right back. So there we go. We've created the table. So this is the Apollo playbook. And it's going to have one ChatGPT module, one ChatGPT column, right? And this column is going to basically create the first line. So AI generated first line. AI generated first line using clay. So we're not going to do this for now, but just the basic structure I think is good for now. Save and don't run. And then finally, we're going to put that here as a first line and then add all of that information over to Smart Lead. So that is where we are. So the campaigns V2, at the point of build a lead list, we build a lead list, right? Build a lead list. I'm gonna bring this playbook. So Apollo playbook. I'm gonna bring this over to templates and then campaign playbooks, right? And delete. Boom. So yeah, basically building a lead list, we go through Apollo, we can either send it over into IDS. The final step, we can either scrape Apollo using IDS. This is what it looks like, by the way, typically. So if I were to scrape Apollo using IDS, it comes up with these fields, right? Like this right here, ZP, whatever, is the full name. And then we use Clay to get the first name, last name. We get the account numbers, all that stuff. And then the final step is, if there's no duplicates, we send it to the second table. And then the second table is step 1. So step 1 is, if we were to export directly from Apollo, we don't need to go through step 0. So that's why this is called step 1. And step 1 literally just finds all of the email addresses. So this is the wrong view. just go to default view, right? We send all of the data from the previous step. So, or we just start here directly. We check for duplicates, normalize the company names, all of that information, and verify, find the emails, and finally we send them over to the final step. We send them to the final step, which is the campaign. Um, and this right here is checking for duplicates. And so how the playbooks fit into this stuff is, if we were to build a lead list, it would go through step 0 and then step 1, and then where do we send this over to? See, that's a good question. Because what I'm thinking we can do, right? This is what I'm thinking we can do. We can create different campaigns. So if I were doing hmm, it's a little bit weird. I don't know how to organize this, because what's going to happen is, if we go back to, let me duplicate this for now. If we go back to what we're trying to build, right? If we go back to what we're trying to build, we're trying to build a go-to-market strategy that looks something like this, right? Which means that we've got 6 active campaigns with different steps, with different things going on at the same time. And inside campaigns V2, like, we can create the copy super easily. As you see, like, super, super easy. I don't know what happened with this one. That's crazy. Keep the email as short as possible. Something happened with this one. Oh, maybe it's because I changed it to headcount micro. Yeah, I changed it to headcount micro before it had finished. But everything else is the same. Everything else is good. So this allows us to, if we go back to what we started all of this from, we're trying to create a bunch of campaigns seamlessly, and so far, success. We can do that. Now, the challenge is building a lead list, right? Because we also have the campaign now inside Clay, inside Smart Lead. So it's just like, is my structure going to carry over well enough? That's the question. And I'm not sure, because one of the things that I am thinking about, though, is that we can. So what we would need to be doing, right? We would need to be duplicating Apollo sequence, right? I would need to actually do this. Apollo sequence, right? So headcount macro. So this is what we called it, but if you recall, like, this is the Apollo sequence, right? So I would need to duplicate this table, right, with the company name, and probably call it like one, right? Because maybe we're running a few other variation. I don't think we should be running too many, like, campaigns. Yeah, I'm gonna do one. All right. So we've got this. What is my normal naming convention? 1-1. Oh, okay. So we can call this like 1-1. So like version 1, campaign 1, version 1. Are we gonna have too many of those? Sure. Sure. We'll do that as the naming convention. And so we've just duplicated this, and so this would actually come back in the playbook section. So clay table created, right? We have to add to the SOPs. So create a clay table for this playbook. Actually, that's it. That's it. What I was wondering is whether we need to create a task to duplicate this, But where would that task come in actually? Build a lead list. Huh. Where would that task come into play? Build a lead list. All right. I'm gonna just do it for now. So change status. Is this the one? Generate campaign copy. Actually, I don't even think we have that. All right, let's do this. So this one is going to be an interesting one. It's once it moves from add campaign to smart lead, right? And it goes over to build a lead list. Playbook is set, client is set, and email one is also set. Is set, and email two as well. Email two. Email two is set. What we're gonna do is we're going to add a comment. And that's it. So we just add a comment which says duplicate clay table. Wonder if I should do this with an API so that we can easily map it over. So that we can easily just like put the URL of the clay table. Or maybe I just don't. So duplicate clay table for workspace. Sorry, so clay table for playbook. Clay. And then I just do this, right? And then I assign it over to myself and then duplicate. And then this one is SOPs, build a lead list. All right. So we've got the task, right? The task should be, right. So it's over here. No, it's the other one. Choose campaign playbook. Oh, it's right here. So this is the comment. Let's go ahead and add the comment over here. So this is what it should be telling us. We look at the playbook, we click on this, it takes us to claim. And so we need to simply have the company, because Clay at the moment does not have an API endpoint, right? So we can't actually use that, which is the main problem. All right, so campaign playbooks, Apollo headcount macro 1 1, awesome. It matches the name as well that we've got over here. We should call this 1 1 as well. And this allows us to get very granular with our clay tables. And so campaigns, I'm going to call this right. Okay, so I'm going to add a new folder, and this is going to be headcount macro. So this is the playbook. So the playbook is going to be the folder name, macro, then create. And then we simply need to copy the duplicated list over into this section. Boom. And so if you recall, we created the Apollo sequence, the main the main playbook. We created it as we were doing all of this other stuff over here. It's one of the first tasks. So as soon as we create a playbook, we have to create a clay table. And from that, we duplicated the clay table So let's get out of this one. So we duplicated the clay table and then we put it over into this section over here. So now the final step of this is going to be adding the leads to our smart lead campaign. So that looks good. So we build a list, right? So we build the list. The task is duplicate table for playbook within claim. We should also have another task actually on that note. So build a lead list, and then we need to add another comment, right? Which is export on that note. I'm gonna hyperlink this because why not? All right, so we hyperlink this, and then this one is gonna give us data providers that we can use. For now, we'll just stick with Apollo, and then we're going to grab the Apollo URL right here and simply paste it here. So we can build lead lists using Apollo, using other tools. And like if we wanted to dynamically map it over, we can also do that. As I had previously shown, like we can also create custom Apollo URLs, which is no longer here. But I don't think that's necessary for now. So the first thing we do as soon as it gets to the build a lead list section, we duplicate the clay table playbook within clay. So clay, we duplicate it, right? And then we come back over here, we resolve it, and then we export and import lead list. Okay. Ah, you know what I need to do actually on that front? We need to generate campaign copy, build lead list. I need to have another SOP in here. And by the way, like for me, like it's as simple as having a one line like this, but if you have a team, you can actually like embed a video, so like a Loom video that you create showing like how these SOPs are supposed to work. And me personally, I prefer to use assigned comments, but I know some people prefer subtasks or checklists. I just prefer this. So assigned comment, another thing that we need to do is we need to map clay clay table clay table anyways, what I'm trying to do, actually I'll explain. So step one, we go in here, step one. So I like keeping it organized like this, but we've got write to step two, right? And this is going to write to a specific table, which in this case is 1-3, right? And so what I'm wondering is whether every single time I build a list and I import it, whether I should constantly change the steps. I just realized it's probably better to simplify this a lot more. So instead of doing like step 0, step 1, and then step 3, I'm just gonna call this head count macro. And inside the head count macro, it's going to have all of this other stuff in here. And the final thing it does is it simply just adds it. And so basically what I would need to do in this case is simply have one table for one campaign as opposed to three tables for one campaign, because the way that I was doing it before is fine if we're just creating one campaign, one campaign, one campaign. But if we're creating a bunch of different campaigns, it's probably better to do all of this enrichment in one table. All right. So that's what I'll do. I'll modify this. So the Apollo sequence is simply, because if you think back to what this is doing, head count macro, what this is doing, it's literally just adding one GPT prompt and one module over here. And so if we can verify the leads, do all of that stuff in one table, I think we'll be fine. That's what we're gonna work on next. I think that this is probably gonna be the last video in the building live series, and so I'll be making a video later today, just doing a quick rundown on this process. But I think that's everything. So build the list. Let me verify the SOPs that they're correct. So build a lead list, duplicate clay table within clay, export and import lead list from Apollo to clay. So yeah, so we import lead list, and in the brackets, like I said, we can have different providers. All right, I think that's it. So we click save, because now we don't even need to worry about like creating a bunch of lists. So we're going to be simplifying our clay workspace, but yeah, I'm not going to make a video on that. um I'm not going to make a video on that, but for now I think that is everything. So let's verify. Oh, on that note, let's juice this up, because that's what I'm going to be working on next. So build a lead list works. We get those assigned comments which says import, export, and then we do this, and then enrich contacts in clay. mm, Wait a minute. Build a lead list. Export. I'm gonna I'm just enrich contacts in clay. I'm just gonna remove that status. I don't think we need it. Build a lead list. Build a export, import lead list. Maybe we put an end, right? So we put an end like this. Does that work? Export and import a list. Fine. All right, so export and import a list simplifies it, and we also get rid of the clay thing. Oh, I just realized you guys were not really able to see that. We had another status, which is clay. And so now, export and import a list. We get the assigned comments. We're done. So now let's juice this up. Let's juice this up. Let's go ahead and say that leads are added to smart lead. Meaning now all we need to do is simply just go back to this and simply add people to this. So like if I find new leads, find new leads would be import people from CSV, right? Just added a list right here, add to existing table, and then it's a Fonto head count macro 1 1. Perfect. So that works, right? So we can simply add leads there, and we can just keep adding them depending on how the campaign goes. So that's great. now we need to do some analytics to juice this up because everything is good. This is working amazingly. So now we go to the analytics section and then we add a new tab, and we're going to be copying the section that we had over here. So we're going to add the ID, so the campaign ID. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think we are good now. So whenever we're creating tasks, campaigns, we start in this section over here. And then eventually we get to the final status, which is leads added to smart lead. So this is the final status. And after that point, we can the stats the campaigns are active, and we can start to track how they're performing. Right, we're gonna have the campaign ID not started, and we're gonna have other automations that are working in the background. And so I think I've shown this previously, but this is the campaigns one that I use. So I think it's called analytics. Right? So this is just analytics. It does a lot of things, right? So it's not just like, it's notifying us in Slack. It's getting the analytics. It's doing a lot of different things. Um, but one of the things that it also does is it adds the analytics over into this section like this. So now we're simply going to migrate everything over to the new task section. So move tasks. We can also duplicate the tasks, which I think is what we're going to do for now. So we're just going to duplicate it, and we're going to go into V2 advanced. Yeah, let's copy everything. Yeah, let's do everything. Um Custom field is missing. No, do nothing. It's good. And now when we go back to V2, so we've got all of these tasks over here. So these are the new tasks that we've just created. And actually we can refresh the page and see whether they're here. All right, there you go. So we've got the tasks, we've got all the custom fields. I've mapped them all together. The formula is invalid. I guess it's probably because it's got 0. And these are all the same tasks that we've got inside here, right? These are all the same tasks that we've got inside here. Oh, and I just thought about it. As we are creating this, because we're going to need to map it somehow. I need to add the ID the moment that we create the task, right? So smart lead, right? Um, Send campaign copy to smart lead. As I'm thinking about this, change status, we should also probably add the campaign ID, right? So that we are able to reference it later. So the campaign ID, it's going to be over here. Boom, we've got it, ID. Perfect. So now what's going to happen is we're going to go through our process, right? We go through the stats, and then at the end of it all, we're going to be adding the campaign ID, and then we're going to be sending it over into this section. And the status for all of these should be leads added to smart lead, right? So that's the status. Yeah, resolve all items, right? And then we can show closed, yes. And then we need to put the status, right? So the status over here is paused, I think, and then paused also. And then this one is active, and then this one's archived. So now it's all mapped. So not only do we get tasks, but we also get analytics. And I think I'm done. I think this is it. I will make a follow-up video after this, and now all I need to do is just further refine everything else in the background. So the playbooks, that's really where I'm going to spend a majority of my time, just creating these playbooks, and then also creating the clay tables for those playbooks. But other than that, I think that's everything. Hope you guys hope you guys found this video useful. I am sick, but I pushed through it. And if you enjoyed it, just leave a comment, leave a like, and